Hello, Needham, and happy winter. And thanks for joining us on What's My House Worth, a show that slices and dices the real estate scene right here in Needham. I am Rob Tickton. This is Ryan McDonald. We are with Hawthorne Real Estate. We're a design build company. We also provide real estate brokerage services for our clients. Ryan, how are you?
Pretty good, Rob. How you doing?
Good. Staying warm out there?
Trying.
Same here. Today's show, we're going to focus on the January sales data, and I guess we're going to start things the way we always do, Ryan, with the stat sheet.
Yeah, all right. Well, why don't we take a look at the January numbers, Rob? We had 17 homes selling in January.
All right, how do we feel about that, Ryan?
I mean, it's not a lot, but you know, it's down from 22 in December. The numbers weren't bad. The average list price at $967. That's up a little bit from December, with the average sales price at $961, which is up about 50 grand from December, so that's not bad.
But it's also down $100,000, Ryan, from a year ago this time.
Okay.
So.
All right, way to squash my enthusiasm.
My pleasure.
The percentages, your sale price as a percentage of lists was 99.3% in January, which is up from just under 98% in December. And your percentage of original lists, Rob, 96.4. Not bad. We'd like to see that above 97.
All right. So looking over the past 6 months, I can tell you a year ago, 154 homes sold through January, that 6-month period. This year, it's 138 over the last 6 months. And there you see the 17 right there in January, Ryan.
Yep, it's that comfortable-looking chaise lounge that we see every year about this time, Rob.
We're going to start to see things tick up, you think, come February, or maybe another month or two of this kind of 15 to 25 range?
I mean, so far in February, we haven't seen too much activity as far as new listings. So I think maybe the spring market is going to be more like last year, where we saw it really come out of the woodwork in March.
All right, so something to think about as we hopefully are on the back end of this winter season. January, 17 sales. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Putting it in context here, I think I'll take 17, right?
Yep, it's at the high end of our January cycles. So, you know, I mean, I guess it's not atypical, and it's, all things considered, not a negative.
Yeah, I mean,
just doesn't give us much to do.
7 sales in January 2012. That would have been a tough show, huh?
Yeah, right.
We would have had to talk very slow.
Yep.
But anyway, you ready to break them down?
Yeah, why not, right?
House by house?
We're here.
All right. How do we start?
We start at the low end of the spectrum.
Correct. We start low sales price and start to work our way up.
Yep.
And our
One
first...
of these shows, should we do it the other way around? Would that be fun?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Not today, though.
No.
We'd have to cut and then go back to the edit room.
It's too late, for sure. So let's go head over to near the corner of Central and Great Plain for our first listing. Specifically, it's on No Yes, or also known as Noise, of course.
Yep.
20 Noise Street sells for $575.
Yeah, and this one, you know, I love it when charm abounds, don't you?
I like charm.
When charm is abounding, good things happen. This house had some updates. It had a cool kitchen. I like the kitchen. It was a little dated, but it had had some exposed brick, a little seating area, which is kind of neat. Finished space in the basement, and a full bath downstairs. It had a new heating system, although it is oil. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure there is gas on that street.
I don't believe there is.
So this is a home you can move right into, and you're getting it in fives.
Yeah, for $1,244 the square footage, I thought it had surprisingly kind of a little bit of an open feel to it. And house built in 1929, but I think for a price tag of under $600,000, you're not going to do much better than this, right?
Yeah, especially when charm is abounding.
Yeah, lots of it. Just a stone's throw away is 1136 Central Avenue. That's our next listing, of course. Looking like a land sale here.
It had all the signs pointed to a land sale, but I did some digging, Rob.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's not being torn down.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So this is not a land sale.
All right. Although it was advertised as a teardown.
Absolutely, it was. It was marketed that way, but that, according to my source, is not its intended use.
All right. And you're not naming those sources?
No, I keep that stuff confidential.
That's what good journalists do.
That's right.
Nice work. So that one was being advertised as a teardown. We now know that it was not a teardown. The next listing was also advertised as a potential teardown. That one located at 90 Norwich. So we had 1136 Central sells for $599. This one sells for $11,000 more, $610,000.
Yeah, I think that's probably warranted.
Feels right?
Yeah, I mean, if you were looking at these from a location perspective, I think I'd probably pay a smidge more to live on Norwich than I would on Central.
So you'd pay a smidge more to live in the valley.
Right.
Right. Okay. So anything else, or are we going to move on?
Yeah, no, that's all the smidges I have for this one.
All right. Well, listen, with 17 sales, I'm going to be trying to squeeze as many
Right.
smidges out of you as
Right.
possible.
Right.
24 Tanglewood Road is the next listing. This is a house that's off of Parish. This one sold in '05, Ryan, for $580 in '05. So 11 years later, sells for $620.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah.
I'm looking for a little more appreciation,
Yeah.
I think, after 11 years, aren't you?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you can be needy, so I understand that.
All right.
I mean, this one went contingent in 10 days, Rob. Then back on market, and then look at those days on market.
Right.
That's just a bummer.
It stinks.
Yeah, it's just a roller coaster of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
This one had some updates. It also has the pool in the backyard, which we always talk about. You know, that it's just when you see a lot of days on market, sometimes with the pool, it's like, okay, you know, those things, you might sit for a little while until you're finding that person who's really looking for it.
Right. The pool doesn't seem very attractive, especially this time of year.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, when they put it on the market, it was 6 months ago.
Right.
Maybe people are like, oh, they're gonna be excited about the pool, but it's a little different when it's December.
Yeah, all right. So there you go, 24 Tanglewood Road. Heading over to 46 Whittier Road that's where we'll find our next listing. This one sells for $700,000. Ryan, nice neighborhood.
Yeah, it is a nice neighborhood, Rob. And this one is a teardown. And despite what we have there on the listing sheet, this is a 2-bed. And in this house, when you look at 2 bedrooms leading up to the sale of this house, you're looking at an average of $524,000 for the 12 months leading up to when this house was listed, right? And then this one, so it's a land sale, they're getting $700,000. This homeowner basically got $175,000 just for the sheer fact that there is a secondary market for this house.
And $700,000, that's an 8,000 square foot lot, correct?
It is. And it speaks to the neighborhood, but this house will be redeveloped, and the homeowner was a huge beneficiary because of that.
So I guess the pictures didn't tell the story.
No.
Because ultimately the pictures didn't matter, right?
Right.
It's all about the location in this case.
Yep.
All right. I think we're going to move over to, I'm getting a little excited.
Okay.
Are you?
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah. Little Red Riding, which can only mean one thing. It's our deal of the month.
Somebody's dealing with the month. Up, it's Rob Ticton's.
Ooh, my turn.
Yep.
749 Charles River Street is my deal of the month, Ryan.
For the buyer.
For the buyer. So
Yeah.
why? Why
Yeah.
is it my deal of the month?
Well, there's some numbers there that would speak to it.
Yeah, those numbers pretty much, maybe the pictures didn't tell the story on the last listing, but I would say the numbers tell the listing for why this is my deal of the month. You're talking about a lot of space, 4,100 square feet, 5 beds, 3.5 baths on a big lot, Ryan. You're talking about an acre. And I think when I look at this listing, you buy this thing for $800,000, right? You could pour $400,000 into it, $450 even. So you're into this house for $1.25 million, and you've got a ton of house. You've got essentially a new house, and you're on a big lot. Mm-hmm. You're on Charles River Street, and when it came on the market, I thought it was going to be a house that was going to go for more than it did. Mm-hmm. It sat on the market for 228 days. And
Long
I just
time.
feel like somebody came away with a nice purchase here.
Why do you think it sat for so long?
Do you have any thoughts?
No,
on
it's not. It wasn't a setup question. I was curious.
Because it feels like you're setting up a trap.
I know. I'm not though. I assure you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speculate as to why.
Yeah.
There could be countless reasons. But hey, $800,000.
Yeah, it just looks like a lot of house for $800,000 when you consider everything you just discussed.
Yeah, agreed. So that's why it's my deal of the month.
Yeah, I would concur.
Okay, thank you. Heading a little closer to town, 302 Nohoyden Street is our next listing. This one is not quite as big as the one we just saw at Charles River Street. In fact, this one's 2,300 square feet, but it's an in-town location, and it's a must-see.
It is. It's a nice house. No question. Move right in. Had some updates to the kitchen, updated master bedroom with a bath. It really, this is a function of the street, and Nohoyden's busy, and because this house is in the 9s if it's not on Nohoyden. But it's well done, and move right in, and I think the person who. I know the person who lived there really enjoyed it, and I think the person who's gonna own it is gonna really enjoy it. You're just gonna have to be okay with being on Nohoyden.
Sold for $755 in '06. So time for our next listing, Ryan.
Okay.
All right. Our next listing is.
Do I have to do this
No,
also?
no, you can look that
Okay.
way. Our next listing, Ryan, is 120 Laurel.
Okay.
You and I both saw that house.
We did.
Any impressions on that house?
Well, it's. I got it now. I got it.
Yeah.
The house is built sideways.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So the garage is facing Laurel, and the rest of the house kind of facing the neighbor, the side neighbor.
You pull up to the house and you're looking at the side of it.
Right.
So I'm putting it in context for the viewers.
No, I'm sure the viewers can appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully.
This one I think both of us kind of thought maybe it was priced high.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And I mean, it sold for didn't quite sell for asking, but it sold for a good number. I mean, it was side facing, as you mentioned, so your street, your curb appeal is your garage, which isn't generally the look that a lot of people want to go for. And it had a curious feature on the inside.
Yeah, it's something I've never seen in person.
Right, the endless pool.
Which is basically like a treadmill that's a swimming pool, right?
It's a tread pool.
It's a tread pool.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So you either have to want that, or you're going to have to get rid of it.
Well, because it takes up a lot of space.
It is.
And it's inside.
It's what could be like a sunroom is your tread pool. So you're either saying, hey, that's great, I'm going to work out in that, or I'm going to have to get rid of that. So, it's a little dated. I mean, it had a finished basement. It's oil, but there's gas on Laurel. So I think we just both thought maybe there was, this one might be priced aggressively, but it went quickly. 6 days and almost asking. So
It did.
I mean, what do we know?
Yeah, not much apparently.
Not much.
I mean, it was clean as can be. Just a little dated.
That's why.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was.
can't
We
believe-
overlooked that.
Can't believe I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Over on Meadowbrook Road, we're starting to climb the ladder here. This one sells, it's 61 Meadowbrook Road sells for $940,000. That's a pretty good number when put up against the list price, Ryan.
Well, and also when you put it up against Nahoyden. So like we were just talking about, this is on the corner of Meadowbrook and Nahoyden, but it's not Nahoyden.
Right, which makes a difference.
Yeah, so 302 Nahoyden is way more Nahoydener than Meadowbrook is, even though it's on the corner of Nahoyden.
That might be the first time anybody's ever used that word, but sorry, go ahead.
302 Nahoyden is larger, 2,300 square feet versus this one's 2,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're looking at $80,000 more for 61 Meadowbrook, and it's staggering almost.
Sold in 2011 for $842,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice house. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's when I was looking at the two side by side,
Yeah.
I thought, boy, someone's getting a good deal at 302 Nahoyden.
Right.
Was my take.
Not necessarily at. Oh, somebody's getting a good deal at.
302 Nahoyden for.
The person buying.
Exactly for what do they go for 858 versus the 940 that someone paid it.
Yes.
Right around the corner on Meadowbrook.
Got it. Makes sense. All right. Good thought. Over on Kingsbury Street is a house that was on the market for a little while.
It was.
Tough house to price.
Tough house to price.
Just because it was so unique. I mean, it's not something there's nothing to really compare it to when you're trying to put this thing on the market, I think.
I mean, this is one of Needham. This is a great street.
Great street, yeah, true. And big lot.
Almost over a half acre. The house was dated and a little bit like the flow was a little different.
Yeah.
But it really was. I mean, you were trying to sell this as like, look at this over an acre lot on Kingsbury, right in town near the high school.
And the picture really captures that.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's a neat property. It had, in my opinion, one thing that really hurt it for me was, I don't know if you remember when we walked this property.
I do.
Because we're in the backyard and it's just this big, large, picturesque lot. But the problem is, and it abuts the high school, which is okay, but it abuts the HVAC condenser exterior portion of the high school. So you've got this ever-present hum of the HVAC machines in the high school, and I just couldn't get past that.
Right.
And I think like at any time of year, it's not just in the summer because it's the heating equipment in the winter. I mean, it's year round. You're going to have this hum, and I just, for me, that took away some of its value from enjoying the exterior of this house.
Yeah, you wonder if the buyer was even aware of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They will be, I guess.
But again, cool and great location.
Yeah, and still it's, over a half acre, under $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
right. This is probably, it's probably a good price
purchase.
for it.
Yep.
And I mean, from a firework watching standpoint, it's got to be just fantastic.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so
It's a great in-town location.
good.
What more can you say?
Yep.
Our first new construction house that we're going to be talking about is 103 Henderson Street. And, I can remember a couple years ago we used to talk about you could get new construction for under $1 million, but it was kind of few and far between. Now I feel like you can get new construction for under 1.2, but that's really few and far between.
Except for this month.
And this one, right, this one
This month we've got a bunch.
falls in that category.
Yeah.
Our office involved with the closing of this one for the sake of disclosure,
Yeah,
but it's
I mean, this one got done. Like, I mean, it's nice. It was almost a custom build for under 1.2, which is I think that the buyer's really happy.
yeah. It's
And
like
nice,
I said.
nice location. I like Henderson.
Yeah. It's we can call that walk to
We could
town.
walk here. We can walk to Henderson after this.
We don't, careful. We don't want anybody knowing where we are.
That's true.
It's an undisclosed location.
That's true.
More new construction for under 1.2.
Yeah,
You're
look at
right.
that.
Oh, this one's closer.
Yep.
409 Lot 2A. Hopefully they're gonna change the name of this one. 409 Lot 2A, Warren Street. Ryan sells for 1199.
Yeah, this was one of the when that property on Warren Street was subdivided, and they built two. I believe they described them as modest.
Right.
New
that's
homes?
correct.
So this is the second of the two, if I'm not mistaken, that is sold. And this one's under 3,000 square feet. I mean, it's great. Like it's not oversized.
Right.
It's built for to use the listing agent's term modestly, and the price reflects that, and it's new construction for under 1.2. So.
And the
great.
lot is bigger than a half acre.
Yeah.
It's 20,000
combined.
plus. Huh?
Oh, each one. You're right.
Each one,
No, you're
yeah,
right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
All right, more new construction for under 1.2.
Great.
One more, correct?
One more.
Right across the street from Cricket Field is where you will find our next listing.
Convenient to Cricket Field.
It is convenient to Cricket Field, for sure.
I mean, you see convenient to 128, convenient to the train. You don't usually see convenient to a park.
Hey, listen, you got, small kids, and it's nice. They can walk right across the street.
Yeah. And there will not be a school there.
Provided they look both ways. And there you go.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
3,600 square feet for under 1.2. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
And the buyer, it's a good deal for the buyer.
Yeah.
Not in fairness, neither one of us have seen the inside of this house.
Yeah.
So we can't really speak to it, just more of a location and a size and a spec analysis. So for that number, that points to a good deal for the buyer.
In the business, we refer to that as an artist rendering.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna pull off new construction.
Okay.
We're gonna go the addition renovation
Okay, let's do
path
that.
now.
Which is becoming more popular.
Yeah.
In Needham, we're seeing more of these.
You got to think outside of the box sometimes
Yeah.
if you're a buyer in Needham, because it's not like you've got stuff coming on the market every day.
Right.
And the clock is ticking for buyers. They're on the sidelines sometimes for a long time, and
Yeah, they start to get antsy.
They start to get antsy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the buyer of this particular house did, but it happens. 80 Lawton Road is a good location.
Sure it is.
It's a nice neighborhood.
Convenient to the golf course.
I was just going to say that exact expression. So now I'm out of things to say. The builder bought this for $625 in 2015, and like we said, lived in it for a little while.
Yep.
Did it was a project, and now you got a 3,800 square foot house. Excuse me.
It's a 15,000 square foot lot, but the one drawback to this for me, for the money, Rob, is a one-car garage.
Right.
So on a 15,000 square foot lot, maybe we could have squeezed another car into that garage.
Right. Narrower.
Yeah, narrow.
Goes
but
further down.
sure.
Slopes a little bit down.
Yeah.
But that's a big lot for Lawton,
It is.
right?
It is. It's slopey, but that's the one drawback for me for that price tag to have a one-car garage.
All right. Understood. Noted.
Noted.
That's the one thing. 138 Lincoln Street is the next listing. Sells for 1,315. It's true. It is a short walk to the town and train. I like that purchase price for that location.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And the good thing about that part of Lincoln is you're looking at more houses across the street as opposed to.
Correct. The hospital.
Right. So that's a good little spot on Lincoln. Purchased the lot for $560. That's a really good price.
Yeah, you're not seeing those purchases get made too much
No.
anymore.
No. So I mean that one I would say is a good, probably a good little transaction there for the seller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the buyer.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's a fair price for the buyer, but I think the seller, buying it at $560 is helpful
Yeah, for sure.
from a redevelopment standpoint.
Correct. We pride ourselves on names of neighborhoods here.
We like to name neighborhoods.
We like to name neighborhoods. We like to support names of neighborhoods.
Right, yeah, we don't want to be the ones that name them all the time.
We're not trying to take credit for all the
No.
names of neighborhoods.
If you want to name a neighborhood, this is the forum to do it.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I've had more people come up to me referring to Olin Woods as Olin Woods. I couldn't be happier.
That's a real thing, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's happening.
You know, that's a revolution in Needham.
Yeah, it feels good.
I mean, someone called our office and they specifically were looking for a house in Olin Woods, and I almost dropped the phone. I couldn't control myself.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, that was a win.
Okay, so our next neighborhood is it's the Laurels.
It's the Laurels.
What do you think about that?
I love it.
I do too. The only thing is, it's just one street in the Laurels, which is Laurel.
Well, you have Laurel Circle and Laurel Drive.
All right, so two.
The Laurels. That's why it's plural.
Oh, all right. See,
Boy,
now I understand
that's why there's two of us.
Right. See, we complement each other, just like the Laurels.
Yeah. This is the Laurel Circle part of the Laurels.
Correct.
The cul-de-sac.
21 Laurel Circle. What are your thoughts? Well, should we talk about the house?
Okay.
Okay. Sells for 1,325.
Which I thought was a pretty good number for this house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the listing agent probably did too, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big lot, but it's a significant price. You know, I think they did really, really well.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that one after this, so it's all kind of, I put it in perspective a little bit for me, but you know, it's a good. I mean, the Laurels is a great location. You're right near town. You're near the train, and it's a nice, quiet neighborhood that we always say, like, boy, everyone loves living in the Laurels, but there always seems to be a lot of Laurel transactions.
Yeah, there does.
But yeah, I mean, this was a candidate for me for the deal of the month for the seller. It's a candidate.
A candidate.
Yeah. I had a
So
couple candidates.
We had two listings in the Laurels this.
Yeah.
Right.
Both candidates.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, the
that's
other
right.
one was the endless pool. Right.
Right.
To get back into character.
I don't want to. I'm nervous with the microphone, so I know I look very stiff as I turn. I'm usually not that stiff when I turn like this.
No.
Thank you. All right. So speaking of deals of the month,
Yeah.
have we had a deal of the month for you?
No, we haven't.
That stinks.
I don't think I've gotten this far into the show without raining on at least one half of a deal's parade.
Well, you're running out of time.
Okay.
So
Are we though? Because it feels like we're not.
I know. That's a good point. Next slide is 10 Wendling Road.
It is.
It's oh.
There it is. See, you knew it was coming.
Okay. I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. It's also our big seller. That's a small number for a big seller.
It really is. It really is, and that's why our sorry, I lost my train of thought. But this one, when we saw this one, I'm like, wow, that's 1,325. Like, I mean, it's a great house. I have no problems with the house.
Yep.
I just was surprised when I saw it that it was at 1,325, and then it sold in 4 days for 1,325. So it's not like I think the seller did well there. I mean, it's a house. It's got everything on paper that you're looking for. The location's great. It's right in Broadmeadow. Had a cool floor plan. Like, you walk in the door and there's open stairs to the basement, which you don't really see all the time, which I thought was neat. You know, a nice master suite, little dated. The kitchen was little dated, very centrally located. You can access basically everything right off the kitchen. A playroom, laundry, had an eat-in area. You can get to the deck. So there was a lot to like about the house, but I just, from a price per square foot perspective, it's if you go off public record, it's like $430 a foot.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I think the garage is under, which some people don't love. I thought it was a lot of money for the house, and maybe there's no real rhyme or reason to it. This is the market that we're in, but the seller's got to be pretty psyched.
Well, we've talked about before. Sometimes you walk into a house and you feel the way you feel.
Right.
Right. So you went to this house on the broker tour and you walked through it and you thought, I like this house a lot, but it just feels like it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so that that doesn't change regardless of what you come up with. You can try to kind of change your mind based on the data, but first impressions go a long way.
Because what I felt like, and I was clearly nitpicking, was that if I were to go in there at that number, I would need to bring some money with me because I would want to do a couple things.
Yeah,
and
not much though.
No, I mean, and this is maybe just me. Like, I just thought there were a couple things here and there that I would want to do.
Yeah.
Which, the buyer ultimately probably didn't.
Right.
And didn't feel the same way. So it's, but this is what we're here for, right?
Yeah. To make people wonder about the
feel
purchase price.
Feel terrible about the purchase of their house. That's not the intent at all. I just thought, the seller's got to be psyched. They're getting $400 a foot, $366 if you go off of what the square footage here, which must include the basement. which is in 366 a foot is actually less than our average price per square foot for the month. So if you look at it that way, what do I know? Again, what do I know?
Right. Okay. So that does it for the 17 sales. Looking forward.
Should we go to commercial?
Going ahead? No. Although it feels like we probably should. Let's take a look at the market snapshot and see what's going on as we speak, Ryan. This is as of February 2nd,
It is as of
2016, and the active single-family listings creeping up ever so slightly.
A little bit.
Homes under agreements staying consistent. That average list price, I mean,
A lot of new construction out there.
yeah. I mean, over 105 here, or 1.5 back-to-back months. It starts to make you wonder: is that going to be kind of a?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, Rob. Spring's coming.
Yeah. So you think you're going to get a lot of 6s and 7s to kind of sprinkle in there to bring that number down?
No,
8s?
no. I think you're going to see absorption of the inventory.
The higher price.
Yeah, because a lot of these homes that are these higher priced that are still being built. So I think we'll see when these things are completed in the spring and they come off the market.
So that number's coming down, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
Let me just write this down. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll revisit that. Next slide. Super Bowl just shortly behind us here.
I mean, people around here didn't really embrace the Super Bowl perhaps as much this year because the Patriots weren't in it. Nobody likes the Broncos.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt you here.
Okay.
Just because of what's behind us. Oh, there we go.
Well,
All right, sorry.
it was a lead-in.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they just the other slide was on there. No, we're sorry. Hit the reset button.
Okay, so what my point was like maybe that there's more to like about the Broncos than you might have thought.
Correct. Maybe there were people in Needham rooting for the Broncos and they couldn't quite understand why.
There's kind of a Needham feel to the Denver Broncos.
Right. But what is it?
Well, let's take a look.
We have figured it out. Lots of Needham street names on the Denver Broncos. A lot.
A lot.
I mean, Manning is the obvious one.
Right.
But I mean, go down the line. You're talking about a 53-man roster here, Ryan.
Yeah, and you get the Super Bowl MVP on that list, Rob, and Von Miller.
That's right. And you've got, multiple Harrises.
Right.
I mean, it's a significant percentage of the roster that's named after a street name.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a coincidence.
Can't be a coincidence.
All right, fair enough. So if you live on one of these streets and you were rooting for the Denver Broncos, maybe that's why.
Yeah. That was that little Needham push that they had.
Yeah. All right. Next up, listing picture of the month, everybody's favorite segment. We, scratch and claw through all those listing pictures to try to find one that, for whatever reason, catches our attention. And I kind of like what we came up with this month.
I'm never disappointed in the listing picture of the month, and this one doesn't disappoint either.
It's a rental listing, Ryan, and I'm just going to go on record saying that if this rental includes these two folks, I'm in. Where do I sign a lease?
I'm in. It's one of the challenges of renting, of being a listing agent on a rental is sometimes you can't get the tenants out of the way. They won't get out of the way when you're showing the place, and they won't get out of the way when you're trying to take pictures.
Better yet, what if you have like a single man or woman who wants to rent something, but they're nervous they're going to get lonely? There you go.
You got these two.
You get a nice roof over your head and some company.
But he wouldn't get out of the way. But he was pretty amicable. Like he was pretty smiley. He's in the picture.
He's looking for his 15 minutes, and he's getting it right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. It rivals the guy with the Christmas tree from last month.
Right. There's no Christmas tree here, but you get 2 for 1. Anybody wants to reach out to us for any reason? They want to know what their house is worth.
I can't imagine
they have any questions.
After this one. Anyway, if you're still on board, you can reach us at 781-707-6564, or you can also email us at rob.ryan@hawthornre.com.
And that does it. January is in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, it is.
And hopefully the snow is as well.
Oh, boy.
We shall see. But either way, we will be back, and we thank you for joining us, and we will see you again very soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.